Thanks, just fine.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. As I promised previously, I was going to compare these two threads on the thread and needle cornrows so that you can see which one looks how or looks better to your preference. So previously I used these small needles, but today I want to try and use this bigger needle because the smaller one was harder to pull. So to begin, I'm going to moisturize the hair with the sheer moisture.
And just a little bit, my dudes. Oh my goodness.
So guys, if you haven't watched the other video I did about the thread and needle cornrows, I suggest that you go back and watch that one because it's more detailed. But if you need a quick refresher, I'm just gonna show you again how it's done, but you're just gonna have to look. So I'm using the thicker needle than the one I used last time, and I find that it's too thick. It's too thick that it actually doesn't make the cornrows look good. So it's I'm trying to see if it can work, but eventually I'm just gonna change my mind and go back to the small needle, even if it's like much more struggle to pull through because this one is too thick, and where it's passing it's leaving too much space. The thread is thin and the needle is thick, so you can imagine they are not going together. So yeah, I couldn't do it, so I had to take them off and use the other needle that I used previously because I liked how that looked. So we're gonna do that again and start afresh. Go over, just pick a little bit of hair to begin with, and that will give it a good transition, like thin going to thick, if you know what I mean. So my daughter's edges are kind of thinned out or broken from previously wearing braids for a very long time, and as you can see, this thread is picking out all the little hairs and holding them tightly. Being a cotton thread, it's not going to shift. There's no, it doesn't slide off. Cotton has that tendency of staying intact. So I found that this thread actually held the hair better than the acrylic thread that I used before, and it kept the edges intact for throughout the time that she had this style, as opposed to the other acrylic, because the other acrylic in about a week or two it lifted. But because it's also cotton and it stays intact, be careful not to pull the hair too much because it's not going to relax before the hair grows. So be careful about that. And I was loving these until they started to knot, like this thread, because I think it's small, like thin, and it has it's cotton, so it tends to knot, like tangles easily than the other acrylic thread that I had used before. So I struggled with that, but then I became more careful because now I knew it was tangling. I was putting my finger in between to prevent it from knotting a lot. But yeah, that's something that this thread does and the other one doesn't. So this is just repetitive. I'm repeating the exact same thing, and if you needed a detailed tutorial how to go about this, I will link it in the description box so that you can go and check out the other video that is really detailed. So when I get to the end, I just use the remaining thread to twist out the remaining hair, kind of like how African threading is done, and this will keep the hair all together and moisturized throughout the time she's going to be wearing this style. If this is your first time seeing this style, especially done on kids, just a heads up, it's the best style because it's painless. Kids will be happy throughout, as you can see, feeling themselves. Just another close-up for anyone who wanted to watch more because it's fun to watch. So like as you can see, remember to start thin, and that helps to hold the little tiny hairs if you're trying to grow out the edges again, if you had lost edges. Like I said before, problem with this thread is tangling a lot, as you can see. Like if you pull too fast, it will tangle, it will knot, and you'll have to stop and deknot it, if that's a word, and then proceed. But yeah, I found ways to get through it. I stopped pulling it out too fast. If that will help you, just pull it out slowly and put your finger in between. That will help. Yep, another knot. Cheers to every knot that we get. Yeah, see the struggle? It's actually a pretty good thread, but then it knots a lot, and this was me being very, very careful. But as you can see, it's the hair is turning out nicely. All hairs are held in. And we are done. We're loving it. So I'm going to now go back to the thicker needle and attach all those braids together, so that, you know, to keep them together in a pony. And then I will twist the ends of it because we're going to wear an extension over this. But before we go too far, what do you guys think? From the previous video and this one, which one do you prefer? On the left is the previous video and on the right is this video. So in my opinion, I feel like the video on the left, the one I did before, which was the acrylic thread, is neater looking. But actually, in essence, the one I did today with the cotton crochet thread is what do I say? It's more tight held. Like it could last longer. It will, because it lasted longer than the acrylic thread. But the one on the left, which is the acrylic thread, looks neater, even though you can see the thread over it. But the crochet thread, which is the cotton thread and which is the one I did today, you don't see the thread over the hair, and it doesn't look as neat as the other one. So it's really up to you what you choose, what looks better for you. As for me, I will go with the longevity of the style, because we don't have time to always be doing these. So I'll probably, you know, prefer the cotton thread, which held the hair longer and kept all the edges held together and protected, and that will help the style to look neater for longer. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which thread do you prefer? Is it the acrylic thread for knitting or the cotton thread for crocheting? Please let me know. If she's happy, I'm happy. If she's not cranky and crying after this, she's happy, I'm happy. This is evidence how painless this style is if you haven't tried it. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like button and hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss out future videos. Thanks again. Cheers.
This is so big. You're about to say humongous. I already said it. You said you're gonna say humongous, not humongous. Because apparently Kenyans don't say humongous. What do they say? Humongous. This is humongous.